How are you doing? I hope you're good and I hope you're fine. Hope your week has been good. The last time that we were able to talk was on Classic Friday. I also say it's almost like a week now that we've spoken. It's really nice to connect with all of us. And thank you so much for you reconnecting with me. I went through the stats and everything. Quite a number of people listened to the entire episodes last week, or this week rather. Yes, so there are a lot of engagements. Thank you so much. So I'm back again, and today's line of thought, right, for me is from a very old song. There was this song that we used to love back then by a musician. His name is Tony. Well, then his name was Tony. He's changed his name now to be Slade and all. But Tony was an amazing, or he's still a very amazing vocalist. Generally a musician. He plays I think the keyboard, the organ, he plays the drums pretty well. He dances too, and his vocals are off the charts. And so he had this song that he did with Kirk Franklin, God Has Not Forgotten. That's how he titled it, right? So I just changed mine to God Has Not Forgotten. And it was just a beautiful song. I remember for a lot of us, it was the vocal, dexterity, and man, the guy he just used to move through notes and all. It was a song of encouragement, So the lyrics of the word, and I really hope the lyrics of the song. I hope there's no copyright thing in this, but it says, God is not forgot, God is not forgot, God is not forgot, God is not forgot. If he said that he would do it, it will come to pass. God has not forgotten, God has not forgotten. Then there was, don't be discouraged, God is not forgotten, right? Then the other part is, just keep on believing, God is not forgotten. And, back then, it wasn't really about the words of the song for me. But let me speak for myself. It wasn't really about the words of the song for me. It was more about, the melody and how Tony was just moving vocally. You could check the song out on YouTube. God Has Not Forgot by Tony and Kirk Franklin. But it was... So I was just like a lot more marveled at how good he was singing. Not up until a few days. I could even say it was yesterday. So I won't get into the details so much, but I've had a very humbling 3 months, and this is me being very, very open with us. I have loved music from as way back as I can remember. I remember being part of a children's choir back in the Netherlands at the age of 5 or 6, if I'm not mistaken. And my choir director then, Mr. Blackman, used to, encourage us to sing loud, and maybe that's why projecting is not difficult for me. If I'm singing to project, it's not difficult. But he taught us well. We were just, we were 5. And in fact, we were all boys. So there were 5 and we were all boys. Me, 2 of my friends, that's Bunderby and Joshua. Then we had the pastor's kids, right? One American pastor like that. So I always loved music. And then the school that I was in while back in the Netherlands, British school in the Netherlands, we used to have music music is compulsory. Typically in European countries, in American countries, typically in the West, music is a compulsory subject, and it helps, to build creativity, just the open the minds of, pupils and all. So I remember learning how to play the recorder and I remember taking geography one time. So we used to take geography in primary school then. So taking geography one time, and we were asked to map our school. So they gave us like a plan of the school, and they were meant to go around to different places, find them, and then just enter the class and say, okay, we're trying to map certain places. And so I was going to one of the classes, and I saw a man playing the guitar, and I was like, wow, I'd love to play that instrument one day. And, seeing my music teacher play the piano, there was a very, very, very funny song. I remember that she taught us. It was meant to be. It's not that I just realized that there are a lot of errors in the song, but yeah, it said red and yellow and pink and green, orange and purple and blue. I can see the rainbow, see the rainbow, see the rainbow too. Listen to your eyes, and see what the rainbow says. I can see the rainbow, see the rainbow. Something like that, I just remember loving to sing that song together with her. I can't even remember her name. I don't even know about the teacher. But then our music teacher then, Miss McDonald, such an amazing woman, so enthusiastic about music and taught us so well. I remember her teaching people how to play the violin, and I signed up to learn how to play the piano before I left the Netherlands. It was just, so great. Came back to Nigeria. Then my uncles, introduced me to. So I never knew anything like gospel music back then. So my uncle, he's now late, Uncle Albert, he introduced me to Panam, then introduced me to Okinoli and Don Moen. And then, started visiting people. In my secondary school, Bethlehem Christian Academy, we had some amazing singers. So they introduced me to people like Kirk Franklin, introduced me to Fred Hammond. Then my teacher in school used to teach me geography then. He introduced us to Hillsong, introduced us to Yanni. So then I had, quite a good number of musical influences, and it had always been my dream to write songs, sing songs, and just do music generally. I started writing. I wrote my first song in the year 2000. So typically, if you look at it from that point of view, it's 2024. So I've been writing songs for 24 years, and I've always enjoyed doing it. Over time, I lost my passion and my drive for it because I have had so many disappointments, right? I've had so many disappointments, and I've always loved the concept of being a songwriter, write songs for people, let people sing it. And whenever I give people songs, there's always edit this, edit that, and I don't have a problem with editing. It's just that as a songwriter, there's something about me preserving. I believe it's a general thing though, but as a songwriter, or if you have any craft, there's something about preserving the purity of what you've done. Right? There was kind of like a mindset behind everything that you were doing. So when you were writing, there was this, your whole person was connected to what you were writing. So either people reject the songs, or they say, it could be this, or I want it like this, no, this is not what I'm looking for, and in fact, so I'll share a very personal story. And then some few days ago, a friend of mine sent me a clip of songs of a program that we had together, and what happened was, like in the video, you see everybody was like standing. Or in fact, let me use a different instance. I went for a program once, and you know, people were worshiping. It was just a beautiful program. And then I came up, and it was now my time for my own personal administration. And I started singing my song. People stood for it and then I sat down and almost looked disinterested. And I went back questioning my gift. And so over time, I tried to conform to a particular pattern. I've tried to conform to, what is, in quote, trending, the things that people usually like to listen to. And I found a whole lot of difficulty in it. I couldn't write in such ways. And to be honest, I remember it got to a point, like there was a time in my life where I used to write at least 2 songs a day. They could just be like 4 lines, but I'm writing. I can promise you that in the past 2-3 years, I don't think I've written up to 10 songs. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was like, I believe that we're going to do a live recording. Okay, he said he wants to do a live recording, and he said he wants me to be part of it. And I told him, I said, guy, I really don't think music is for me, and I don't believe in my songwriting ability again. And I was asking me why. I said, I've had too many setbacks that I just feel like maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this isn't for me. I've not received my songs, at least from my own perspective, have not been received well. They've not been received well. There's always some level of criticism, or there's a level of lack of that receptivity. I think I can't really figure out any other word to use. But lack of receptivity, and it just got me discouraged. I see how people that I know, how their songs get sung and all. And somehow for me, it's always different. I could sing a song and then people are like, what song is it? I'm like, it's mine. They're like, I've never heard the song before or something. I'm like, I've sung it like 4 or 5 times. But, so I really just gave up. I just didn't feel the need to pursue this dream again. The funny thing is that I always write this particular thing in my prayer request, and I'm like, oh Lord, please revive my music life, or revive my songwriting career, whatever it is. I'm always of that. I always, tend to write all of those things down, but somehow either the fact that the manifestation doesn't come, or I do not receive it when it comes, there's just a lot happens, and I felt just discouraged, and I really wanted to give up on music. I just wanted to be my assistant music director in Koinonia and, help around where I could. But then on a personal level, pursuing my own musical career or my own musical passion, I just said, nah, I'm giving up. And on my birthday, somebody reached out to me and, met someone we've never met physically, but then this individual has been particular. Sometimes when we're on WhatsApp call, the person like, okay, sing your songs, and I'm like singing, and the person's like, Binga, why aren't you sharing your songs? Your songs are this, and there's just this whole discouragement that comes. And the person reached out to me and said I would get a studio and I would sponsor. I went back and forth with the person and eventually did it. And after I did the recording, my critical nature started, creeping in. It just crept in, and then I started doubting, like, okay, the quality of the song, is it good and all? So the whole thing just went silent. the person has been reaching me like, okay, how far are the songs? Are you going to release them? I'm like, yeah, I have to work on this. The person, just encouraged me and all. But then, and I met someone else again, and we're just talking. After a particular message by Apostle, I think for Season of Abundance, and I just knew that my life really needed a fix-up for so many things. My life needed a fix-up, and I just reached out to someone, this person that just took a very fond connection with me, and I just reached out. We're talking, and the person said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to a studio, we're going to book a session, and we're going to record. I just knew that this was God telling me that I am about to set you up for something big. I started down my misbehavior. Started misbehaving, and the person was like, no, we drove down to the studio, got this, we got the time and all, and went to the studio yesterday. So it's just acoustic work, just me, my acoustic guitar, and singing some songs, and it was just beautiful. I listened to my songs for the first time. I really, really loved what I heard. And then these people are just, okay, some other people came over and they're like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And on my way home yesterday, I was just, lost. Because just imagine, like, after 24 years of writing and having near success and people, agreeing to work with you and then not working with you, people not having that interest after all of that discouragement, after 24 years, God just sets people up your way to remind you that He gave you a dream and He hasn't forgotten, and He's there to fulfill it. It was so humbling. It was so humbling. It is so humbling. I'm just seated on my bed at the moment, and I'm just thinking, and I'm just so grateful. I won't mention names because they won't like it. But there are people that I have met. God has changed my circle. God has changed my circle. I think now I really do understand when Apostle preaches about the gift of men, that sometimes when God just wants to change your story, He just changes the people around you. He brings new people into your life. He brings different people that can, discern you. It's been so humbling to watch people sit down and marvel at my gift and sincerely celebrate it. It's not about hype. How these people, they reach out to other people and like, come and hear this, come and hear this. And they're like, so this guy has other songs, why isn't he releasing? The producer that in the studio, he was like, guy, where have you been? Like, I told him that I've had my issues, trying to get producers to work with. He was like, guy, I'm here for you. Like, I understand you. Let's work together. Let's do things. Let's, connect. Let's collaborate. Let's do what we can. And then everybody just going all out for me. I was with my friend, and she was just telling me, see, she was like, Binga, I've been telling you how gifted you are, how blessed you are, and I really want you to believe it. And so when I was just on my way home yesterday, that was the song that was just in my mind. And like, God is not forgot. And if after 24 years, God can still revive dreams, it's a revival for me, but it's a reminder from God, because it was not that He had forsaken that particular mandate for my own life. No, I had just given up, but He just reminded me that He hasn't forgotten. And I'm really just in awe. And I went through all of this discussion because yesterday somebody reached out to me too, and so he just had a prayer about me. He had a dream about me and decided to pray. And he was just praying. He said, your time for favor has come. Your time for this has come. He just, spoke words, just amazing, beautiful words into my life. And, to see how everything just unfolding, how God brought particular people into my life that have been such great support systems. People that have gone out of their way to just be a blessing to my life. I cannot. They just look out for me consistently. It's just really, really humbling, and I don't even feel like I'm in the best position to say a lot of these things. But I would say it because it's right. I'm still a work in progress, and it won't stop me from saying the truth. I'm still a work in progress, yes, but it won't stop me from saying the truth. There are people that God will bring your way that would wipe tears. That will wipe tears. God will bring your way and they will just wipe your tears away. It's I think now it's the verse that I love. Galatians chapter 6 verse 9. Be not weary in well doing, for you will reap if you think not. It's becoming so alive in me. And I just want to encourage you, Tyler, that it's easy to be offended with God. Because you'd be like, hey, Lord, I'm not the one that put this dream in me. You're the one that put the dream in my heart. You're the one that gave me this passion, right? I was born a human and you put in this passion, you put this dream in me. And it's very easy to get offended with God because it feels like nothing is happening, right? But I can promise you that God has not forgotten. This is me telling you, God has not forgotten. If nothing around your life gives you that impression, just take this story that I shared with you. Because how can God be this intentional about me? There are people that have consistently reached out to me to help me, to be a blessing, and for me, it's one of the challenges that I have is receiving. Receiving is a big thing for me. I don't know how to receive gifts. I don't know how to receive compliments. I don't know how to receive help most times, right? It's a struggle for me. But then when it happens back to back like this, even in my state of shock, God just seems to bypass it all. God has not forgotten about you, Tyler. God has not forgotten about you. The world may not recognize what you carry. The world may not recognize your gift. The people that you want to give comments about you, right? So there's this thing. There are people that usually constitute our greatest sense of value, right? They represent what we would call standards in our lives, right? They represent all of that. And sometimes we try to force them to give us accolades, to applaud us. And when we don't get it, we tend to shut down the rest of the world. And there are a lot of other people that are there to support you, to bless you, to keep you going and all. But because your mind is so fixated on those individuals that you put yourself in a very, very big state of despair. Very, very big state of despair. God has not forgotten, and He will bring the right people into your life that will recognize your gift. Not just recognize it, but they would play a part in nurturing it. They would feed it and make sure that it grows. They would do it with joy. They would do it with gladness of heart. They would do it with no strings attached, just because they love you and believe in what you carry. God is not forgotten. Whatever dream that you have, whatever passion that you have, whatever thing that you might have silently given up on, right? Tyler, I want you to go back and dust up those books, or dust up wherever you've captured your dreams and passion, and be encouraged. God is coming through for you. God is coming through for you. And then maybe one of these days I may even actually talk about receiving help, because There are many times that God brings blessings our way, and for one reason or the other, we don't do the best with it, right? But this is just me encouraging you. I don't know if it did really encourage. I hope it did, but I'm just in awe of God's wonder, and I just want to say thank you to everyone. I believe that they would listen to the podcast, and the ones that I met that have taken my life as their project, reaching out to me, taking care of me, supporting me in everything, introducing me to amazing people. For those that have consistently sown into my life and giving me something to believe in, I just want to say thank you, and God will bless me so much that I would bless you in a way that will bring you to tears. That's my passion, that's my goal, and that's my dream. And just as God has not forgotten, even me, Binga, I won't forget you guys. I won't. And one day the world will know your name. Right now we'll keep it silent because of certain things. But one day the world will know your name, and I will say it loudly. I will say it loudly without reservations. And I will be very deliberate. So, Tyler, be encouraged. God is not forgotten. Your dreams are still valid. Your dreams are still valid. So, yeah, I really hope that this episode blessed you. It's pretty long because it's personal and all. But I hope that this episode blessed you. Remember that I love you. I believe in you. And I'm always rooting for you. Right? So, see you guys next week. Bye.